I think I'm done with Uber. It's unsustainable. Like, I've been driving for about 7 weeks. I've put 7,000 miles on my brand new car, and Uber takes half the money that you guys pay. So if you're paying for a ride, you're only giving half of that money to the actual driver. The other half goes to Uber itself. I've done 200 and something trips. I'm a 5-star driver. I keep my car immaculate, right? And only about 12% of people actually tipped me. Okay. So 5-star, 109 5-star ratings. And still, like, I don't understand how this is supposed to be sustainable. They must rely on desperate people who have no other choice. I started doing this because I got a new car and I wanted to help pay for the note. And it's just insane that people do this for a living. Like, I don't understand how they could do it. Like, I like 50% of the aspects of driving for Uber. I like to drive. I like meeting people. I like talking to people. As you can see, that's probably why I have 5-star ratings, because people like me. I'm very personable. But with them taking half the money, there's days I work from 6 a.m. till 3 a.m. on Fridays. I start out at 6 a.m. I take a break. I go back on for the evening rush, take a break, eat dinner, go back in and work until 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's insane. It's insane how much money that they're taking from me. If I make $300, that means Uber took $300 from me. I don't understand. Like, just please stop using Uber. It's garbage. It's a garbage app. They need to do better.
Okay, Uber is a fucking scam for both drivers and riders. Here's why. I'm just coming from the airport. I was talking to my driver, and he's telling me about the structure that Uber pays him. I scheduled my ride in advance because I wanted to be ready, and Uber changed my pickup time. They require that the driver be there 45 minutes before the scheduled pickup time. Like, what I'm paying for the trip is not what the driver's getting paid. Uber takes about 35% of whatever I'm paying, and they don't pay them for that time that they're waiting in advance. When we passed through a toll, I asked him, does Uber reimburse you for that? Because they end up charging me for any tolls that we go through. And he said, no, he has to pay for that out of his own pocket, and they don't reimburse him for those costs. They don't pay for gas, car maintenance. They don't reimburse for any damages to the vehicle. They don't get any health care, days off, sick time, none of it. And he said like 3 years ago, it was good money. You would make good money driving for Uber, but that's not the same anymore. So the drivers go on strike at least every 3 months because Uber keeps trying to take more out of their pocket. Like, they have them paying for the fucking tolls themselves, and they're also charging me for the fucking toll. And they take 30% of every tip they receive through the app. It's a fucking scam.
So Uber doesn't give a shit about their drivers, like, not even remotely. I got this ride that was $5, and it was 30 minutes to go pick this person up, 20 miles away. I was like, bitch, you must be fucking tripping, because there's no fucking way that I'm gonna drive 30 minutes to pick up this person. The entire ride's, like, the ride's totality was gonna be like 45 minutes. I'm gonna get paid $5 for a 45-minute ride? You're fucking stupid.
I'm not gonna lie, from these TikToks, it sounds like Uber is just not worth it at all. Because you say you make like 18 an hour, you don't get money for gas, wear and tear on your car, and bro, the TikTok with the girl at the airport, how got moved back and stuff, and the Uber driver has to be there 45 minutes before, and that's unpaid. Like, that's just completely unfair, bro. That makes no sense. But let's get into the video.
All right, so check this out. Here in Miami, Uber wants to pay me $2.90 for, let's just face it, it's 15 minutes of my time, because that area, you can get stuck on a bridge here. There's traffic all over. This is a 15-minute ride. 15 minutes, especially when you got to turn around in the hotel they're at and all that. Yeah. So if it was $3, it's not even $3. If it was $3, you know, 50. I like using 15 minutes because it fits into an hour 4 times. So 3 times 4 would be 12. So they're paying you. They're telling you they want that you should be making less than $12 an hour doing these rides. And that's if they beep one after another, which they don't. This is the state of Uber, 2025.
$150 to basically drive 3 hours. It looks like good money, but you got to get back home. So that's 3.5 times 2, 174 times 2. we're talking like maybe $7 an hour. There's no way. And the problem is this: the passenger paid $300. Uber's making their money, but they're not paying the Uber drivers, and I don't think that person's going to tip. So, yeah, there's no way.
I've been in my car for the past 50 minutes trying to do Uber and get orders, and I haven't gotten any orders. What? It's a Wednesday night at 9 p.m. and I'm on 192, a busy ass tourist ass highway right now, just trying to get some orders, you know, driving to a busy place. Almost 50 minutes now I've been sitting here. No orders. I was even driving around for a little while. Maybe I need to move around, get the orders moving and all that kind of stuff. I'm getting frustrated because it's like I'm getting my car fixed on Monday. Well, not fixed, just tuned up, because I'm going to be getting on the road because I live in my car and I'm just going to be traveling everywhere, traveling a bunch of my friends, and it's probably going to be like $500 or less. I want to give him $500. Preferably, it's going to be like $410, but I want to tip him, you know. But how the fuck am I supposed to pay for it if I'm not getting orders? Hello? How am I supposed to pay for it? How am I supposed to pay for it? How am I supposed to pay for it? I'm not too stressed because I know it's going to work out. It always works out. I'll go on the internet and I'll cry about it. I'll cry about my finances, and then it always works out. Like, it always works out. It has always worked out in my favor, and I know it's going to work out in my favor again. And worst comes to worst, I can reschedule the appointment and get it fixed the week after next week or something. But what the fuck, Uber? 50 minutes and I haven't gotten a single order? I've done 1,000 order with you guys. You'd think there'd be more loyalty, but it's okay.
Who is responsible for Uber? Who is the CEO of Uber? Because this guy is horrible. He has the worst customer service in the world. I mean, there's always some person from Bangladesh or wherever they from, and they know exactly nothing about what's going on in your situation. They just... I like to report same incident. I am support team. Shut up! You don't even know what you're talking about. Give me to somebody who's American. I need English. English, please. Horrible app. I mean, I was with these dudes since 2017, and they treat their drivers like crap.
Not gonna lie, bro. Uber just be taking like a fat ass chunk, and it's so unfair, bro. Like that first TikTok, dude is getting paid $2.90 on Uber X, by the way. I think that's like the higher tier Uber, to drive 4 minutes to pick up the guy, to drive 10 more minutes, and then drive back home. $2.90. You're spending more on gas, you know what I'm saying? And like your time and everything like that. Second guy, like, yeah, $152 for driving 3 hours. That sounds entirely good in theory. Then you gotta drive back home. You probably gotta fill gas on the way back. Probably, like, you know what I mean? And at that point, it's like, it's not even that worth it. You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid. And about the customer service, bro, I personally, I think I've only called customer service maybe like one time in my life, because usually they have my parents do it and stuff. But like, bro, when I see them on the phone talking to them, and they're just like idiots, bro. And that's not to diss them or whatever. It's just like, they just don't seem qualified a lot of the times. Like, I feel like it should be like direct workers who are there, but I feel like a lot of these companies outsource it to other countries or other like businesses and stuff like that who aren't really in touch. They just know like maybe like other procedures and stuff, but they can't really help on like super specific issues because they're not actually like that knowledgeable or even have the ability to help them in a lot of these scenarios. And that's why you get redirected to another call, you get put on hold here, you get put on hold there, you gotta talk to this guy, then that person transfers you to this guy. Then like, it's just a horrible experience, bro. That's probably my least favorite thing I'm looking forward to in adulthood. I'm not gonna lie. Just talking to customer service, bro. I cannot do that.
Let me tell you the hard truth about being an Uber driver. As you all know, I've been driving for Uber for about 5 months now. I've noticed a pattern of how they just don't like their drivers. They like to take money from their drivers, and I'm about to show you proof. When I first started in Uber about 9 years ago, it was a percentage share where they would take only 25% of whatever the fare was. So if the fare was $30, the driver would get 75% of that. Now they do something called upfront pricing, and I want to show you guys what drivers have to go through just because we need to get an honest wage. Uber's pricing algorithm is not designed to maximize driver pay. Its primary goals are trip completion rate, gets rides accepted quickly so riders don't churn, marketplace balance, keep enough drivers on the road without overpaying, cost minimization, pay just enough for someone to take the ride, not more. So the system consistently ask, what is the lowest amount we can offer right now and still get a driver to accept? They also feed off of your desperation as a driver. Uber doesn't track desperation directly, but it infers it through behavior. Signals the algorithm reads as desperation, accepting low-paying trips repeatedly, high acceptance rates regardless of pay, long online hours without breaks, driving during low-demand hours, accepting trips far outside surge zones. From the algorithm's perspective, this driver has a low price floor. In other words, desperate to just work, and they feed off of that. And this is what that can look like. Why long trips are often the worst offers. Long trips expose the algorithm's priorities clearly. Examples: rider pays 120, Uber offers a driver 56. Why? Uber knows someone will take it because it's a higher rate for the driver. Uber doesn't pay for deadhead miles, gas spikes, fatigue, lost surge opportunities on the return. If driver accepts those trips, the algorithm learns no need to raise this price for him. I had a ride come through the other day whenever I was at the airport. It was for 109 miles for $56, and it was taking me to Waco from DFW. That's about a little over 50 cents a mile. That is not a good rate, okay? I had one come through that was 22 miles for, I think it was $9, or maybe it was $10, but still, it was less than half. In other words, they're now paying you between 45 to 50% of the fare. That's ridiculous. So I'm here to shine the light on everyone who's driving for Uber and for the riders for Uber. They don't like their drivers. They don't want to pay their drivers. And I don't understand that. I'm like, if someone's doing a good job for you and they're bringing in money for you, why wouldn't you want to pay them? Why wouldn't you want to pay them a fair wage? I'm not someone who's this liberal going around, oh, give us our fair wage. But if they're doing a good job and you want them to continue to do a good job, pay them. It's not that hard of a concept. And employees appreciate being appreciated. It's just, it's sad.
Well, another day, another Uber screen grab. This time, Uber X wants me to drive 5.4 miles, taking me 12 minutes to go take a person not even a mile. Chopin Plaza, that's Hotel Intercontinental. So I'm in Coconut Grove. Please drive to Brickell. You know, we're taking I-95 and everything. There's exits here. There's bridges to take this guy almost a walkable distance. As a matter of fact, I think in 12 minutes, you could probably walk that. But it's okay. Don't worry about it. We have a poor idiot who's going to put wear and tear on his car and drive all those miles just to pick you up for your convenience. Oh, and don't worry, we pay them fairly. We pay them very fairly. I mean, he's getting paid $3.51, so, I mean, you know, that's very fair, considering they probably charged this guy $15 for that ride. All right, guys, follow my YouTube, follow me on TikTok, do all the things. And I almost forgot, before you say, you could decline it, I didn't accept this. I love how people will comment, you could decline it, don't do Uber then. Like that's never come across my brain. Guys, it's entertainment. Take it for what it's worth.
Yeah, bro, to be honest, at this point, just don't do Uber. Like, the world's too expensive for them to be doing you dirty like this. And, like, they have, like, adaptive, like, pricing and stuff like that. And it's so stupid how they take such a big cut between what the driver pay or between what the rider pays to the driver. You know what I'm saying? Like they're driving. Like I get you need a cut because it's your platform and everything like that, but like come on, bro. You need to like care about your drivers a little bit. You know what I mean? These people are trying to make a living or even make some extra income, or so, like bro. Everyone has their own reason to do this. You know what I mean? And it's just you're not paying enough. And that adaptive pricing, that's crazy. I heard in what's it called? I saw in one of the TikTok comments. It says that they charge like what's it called? They don't charge the driver more in this scenario, but they charge the rider more if they're on low battery because they know they're more desperate. You know what I'm saying? Like like that's great. Like that's hella smart, but like that's messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's absolutely the worst. And that's crazy how they're for one they're taking such a big cut after pricing is so high for someone just to like get home. You know what I'm saying? And secondly, that's crazy how their algorithm is based on like rides being like how much they can pay for rides to be accepted often to keep enough drivers on the road without overpaying, and how much like they can have someone pay or no. What's the lowest they can pay for a driver to still take the ride? You know what I'm saying? But like the most that a passenger can pay, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's just messed up because it's like you're charging right at the tippity top of what the rider is willing to pay, and you're trying to drop and you're trying to increase how much you take and drop how much the driver takes to the lowest amount they're willing to take out of desperation. And I heard that like Lyft and Ubers. Oh, by the way, don't take any of this as truth. You know what I'm saying? This is just what I've heard in the comments, and I'm just reiterating what I'm saying. I'm not hating on any of these companies or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? But I heard that they like intentionally like cap your rides and stuff like that to keep you under a certain hourly wage. And that's kind of messed up because it's like that means even if you work hard as hell, probably trying to take the best deals, everything like that, you're still screwed because like yeah, you're screwed because you don't get paid enough. You know what I'm saying? Like that's absolutely messed up, to be honest. That's all I can really say about it.
And if you're gonna do Instacart as a full-time job, don't do it. I just had an order pop up that said, oh, this order is 45 items for $7. $7 to grab 40 items off the floor, to wait in the line, to pack all of it, to drive to the person's house and drop it off.
Instacart, this for you. Why do you let customers add unlimited amount of items after we've started shopping? Like, I just don't understand. You don't add time to our shop time or delivery time. It's not then notifying other customers on that batch, like, hey, there's going to be more time. I just did a triple where 2 of the people added so many items that it pushed it over 90 items. It didn't up the pay, and they can add bulky items, and then it doesn't give us heavy pay after the fact. So like, I'm fine with customers adding items, but we should be getting paid more, or it needs to alert the people that their order is going to take longer, because that's ridiculous.
Instacart is the most frustrating gig app I have, and that's out there, in my opinion. And let me explain. Since they came up with this tier list and tier system where, you really had to be diamond to see the best orders, or, if you're not diamond, you're still going to see good orders, but like, it's going to be like 10 seconds after. It's been a struggle. You could be sitting in the parking lot and not see anything for a whole hour and a half. And then once you leave the parking lot, you leave the app, you see a banger. And you go and grab it and you still miss it. And here's a prime example. I missed a 170 Costco on Sunday. I'm in the app, by the way. Click it real fast. Boom, gone. And yes, it's all about your market, but I believe this app is becoming less and less reliable because they want you to take the trash they keep sending you.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? So gig work in 2026 basically broken, you know what I mean? From how Instacart as the main example so far in the video, people can add stuff or like people can add an infinite amount of items. It doesn't add any time, doesn't add extra pay for the shopper, you know what I'm saying? And just how gigs don't pay as much as they used to compared to the cost of living nowadays. You know what I mean? Cost of living is completely outrageous right now. And people usually do gigs to either keep up with it or as their full-time job, you know what I mean? But there's algorithms in place in all these gig apps where it caps you at like an hourly rate, or they try to adjust it to the lowest they can pay you, but still keep you on the app and stuff like that, you know what I mean? And I just find that completely unfair because it's like, no matter how hard you work, you can't make more than what they want you to make, which is totally outrageous. So let's just get into the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
DoorDash wants me, a single mom with literally $10 to my name, to come up with $300 to pay for this lady's order, and then they would reimburse me. Are you kidding me? And so I went and shopped for 2 hours, a grocery order, 75 items, $260. And when I go to pay for it with the DoorDash card that they give you to pay, it was declined because DoorDash didn't put enough money on it. And I called DoorDash support to tell them to put the money on it, but no, they can't just do that. They told me to pay out of my account and they would reimburse me. So I had to unassign it. And so instead of getting the $30 for the 2 hours of work, which isn't even that great anyways, I got $10. They gave me what they call half pay, and it was their fault in the first place. I freaking hate DoorDash.
You cannot gig work your way out of poverty any more than you can budget your way out of poverty. Bestie, I wish I could give this comment the Nobel, okay? It wasn't 4 days ago, comrade besties, that I made a video saying that not everyone can do gig work, whether it's because, like myself, they do not have a vehicle or because they're not able-bodied. Doing said gig work are going to be more choosy about which gigs they choose to work. They see a tip that is not, worthy of their time and their gas, okay, they're going to take that particular order. In an economy where the same people that would normally have disposable discretionary income to spend on takeout are now the same people that have to, out of necessity, resort to gig work. We're at a zero-sum game, folks. You understand what I'm saying? No, it's an Ouroboros. The snake is eating its own tail. Nothing to say of the fact that gig work offers people no health benefits. They're literally putting their bodies and their health at risk to work themselves to death just to break even, cover the cost of their gas, maybe bring a little bit extra home, put food on the table. Again, it is a zero-sum game. So please, before you ready yourself to tell somebody either in real life or in a comment section, oh, you can always do gig work, think. Just for 5 seconds, think.
Yeah, bro, like I said, like in the start of the video, you know what I'm saying? Gigs just don't pay enough to keep you like afloat in this economy anymore. Like it's impossible, you know what I mean? It's so hard to make it out of poverty. And on the topic of you can't save out of poverty, I agree with that too, because some people like how much like their whole income is going to bills, and their income isn't even their whole bill sometimes. So they got to use their credit cards, they got to take out loans just to pay, and you're just falling further and further behind, you know what I'm saying? And about the girl who did DoorDash, or wait, hold up, let me check the clip again, maybe. Like, or actually, I'm not making a check, but like, tell me how a billion-dollar industry or company is gonna have you go in, buy something, and they put the incorrect amount of money on it. Then the shopper calls you guys, tries to fix it, and you guys don't. They say, pay it out of pocket, and we'll repay you. Then the lady can't pay it out of pocket because most people doing gigs don't have that much money like laying around that they can just go out like that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like unfair. And then like you're just screwed at that point. Like what can you really do? You know what I'm saying? That's just so stupid, and that's such like a dumb error on a billion-dollar company. You know what I mean? That just makes no sense to me, and that just contributes to how like gig work has become harder because the apps have wanted it to, or they're just too ignorant to like fixing quality of life issues, you know what I'm saying? So in this next part, we're going to be talking more about like Walmart, Spark, and stuff like that. So it'll be a little change, but gig work, so let's get into it.
Hi, my loves. All right. Normally, I do diamond dot business on here, diamond painting, whatever. Today, I'm going to talk about my other gig. So, I do deliveries for Spark, DoorDash, Instacart, all the gigs, just because I like having the flexibility to do what I do.
However, I'm sure, as we all know in the Spark world, shit has changed and not in our favor. So what are we doing? I mean, my area is very small. I have one Walmart. I have one Meijer. I have one of just about every fast food restaurant. Could I drive somewhere else in a bigger area? Sure. Am I going to be making money if I'm doing that? No. So what are we doing? Because this is not sustainable the way they have it set up. And I know it's unrealistic for us to say, quit taking these orders and they'll figure it out. But people still do. Because let's face it, people need money. So they see, I just took an order because I wanted to try it. Let me tell you about this order. It was $50. It was going 48 miles. Number one, that's trash because you're only paying me to go the 48 miles there, not the 48 miles back, of course. It took me exactly 2 hours from the time I left Walmart parking lot until the time that I pulled back into Walmart parking lot. These were 9 stops. They were all, with the exception of the first couple, which were grocery deliveries like normal, and then they stacked on 6 .com deliveries after that. So it was trash. All of these .com deliveries were 8 to 10 miles apart. So I'm doing all of the... I'm so irritated. I'm not... I don't even know where to start. What are we doing? Because this isn't sustainable. And unless we can get all these drivers to figure out that this isn't going to work, at least for us, for Walmart, it's probably great. There's probably saving all kinds of money on our dimes. But for us, it is absolute trash. So what are we doing? Anything else out there? Because I'm over this. Instacart's trash too, at least in my area. I'm sure in some areas it's great. I've been sitting in this parking lot for Walmart, and I've been out here for 3.5 hours. That $50 order is the only order that I've taken. They've sent me 2 others, and I've promptly declined because after that first 9-stop debacle chaos, I'm not interested in doing it again. But I'm also not interested in sitting out here in this parking lot for 10 hours for an order that may possibly come in to shop. I'm not doing that either. So, again, my original question. What are we doing? Because this is shit. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Alright, y'all. It looks like I may be finding a new side hustle soon. What I've noticed the past week coming out here to Spark is like, at this point they're trying to force the offers, right? What they'll do is they'll send me like 3 offers. They might be $20 to go 20 miles or $20 to go 16 miles. They sent me one that was like $30, but it was going to take an hour and a half. Guys, that's only like, when you think about how long it's going to take you to get back to the store, that's literally only $15 an hour. I wouldn't even ever take that for a job. I'm sorry, not to offend anybody. I wouldn't even take that for a full-time job. So there's no possible way I'm going to spend my time doing a part-time job making $15 an hour. It don't even matter. I could go do overtime at my full-time. If I'm going to even, I'll take the headache and make some decent money than to do a side hustle paying me dead. The point of a side hustle is usually quick money. We want quick money. We want fast money. So if you think for 1 second, I know I can make damn near $40 an hour at my full-time job if I do time and a half, why would I come out here and take $15 an hour? And they do it because there's a lot of us out here who actually do Spark full-time. I'm not knocking your hustle. And you can kind of tell who do Spark full-time because I see some of the orders y'all take, and it's not fair. You know, and it's not me downing you because that's your side hustle. That's what you choose to have as a side hustle. But it's not fair to you what they try to pay y'all because they know y'all got to take it. What I do know about big corporations is they play in people's faces because they can. And they know it's always going to be somebody out there that need that money that bad, that if they give them $15 to go 25 miles, they're going to take it because they need the money. Honestly, for me, if I take a $10 order, even if it's going 2 miles, if I take a $10 order going 2 miles, especially a shopping order, then I'm doing that. That's like, I call that my charity order of the day. But I feel like today I'm driving my son's car. and he got a big body. He got a Challenger. I wouldn't even move out of the parking lot for less than 15 today. I can't do it, you know. And like I said, I can be picky because it's my side hustle, not my full time. But this shit ain't cool. It's really not cool. So I don't know how much longer Spark will be my part time. I love doing these videos for y'all. I love the hustle and bustle of the grocery shopping. Instacart just don't pay enough for me, from what I've seen. But DoorDash is a hit and miss. I'll do those every once in a while. But I don't know how much longer I would deal with Spark, because at this point, this is purposely being done. If I don't accept what they do, or if I don't accept what they give me, they won't give me an order for another whole hour and a half. Then they might give me some more shitty orders. And if I don't accept those, they'll wait another period of time and not give me no order unless they get crazy busy. Y'all gotta wake up. Walmart cannot survive if y'all don't take the orders. I'm not telling you to be like me and need as much money as I need to take an order, but what I am saying is, have a backbone. You shouldn't be going 20 miles for $20. You just shouldn't. Not when you're delivering. It's one thing DoorDash, you're taking like a bag or something most of the time. You drop it off on the porch. So $1 a mile or $2 per mile, okay, I get it. But you're actually delivering somebody's groceries. Don't let anybody play you by having you take an order, paying you less than $1 per mile, paying you $1 per mile. That's nothing to deliver people's groceries. We gotta wake up. Stop letting these big corporations make all this money off you.
So yeah, you know what I mean? Basically what they said in the video, Walmart Spark isn't worth it. Cost of living so bad, you know what I mean? Gigs don't pay as much, especially, or like, one, algorithms are designed to keep you broke, you know what I mean? Like they want to pay you the bare minimum to keep you continuing to come back. And cost of living is rising, that's happening as well. Wages aren't as much. And as you're driving, or like, for one, you don't get that much off of the gig, right? They're trying to pay you the bare minimum they can pay you. And secondly, um, secondly, from you driving and you like getting things and stuff like that, you know, that's wear and tear on your body. That's wear and tear on your car. Imagine you get like a pop tire or a flat tire or something. Boom. That's like your income for the day completely gone. And you need that for your job. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy to me. That's dead ass scary, because it's like your whole job, because a lot of people do these gigs full time, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's because they can't find a job, or it's because they enjoy that like freedom where they can work like kind of on their own schedule, if you know what I mean. And that's not to say they don't work hard or work like a lot, you know what I'm saying? If anything, when you're working independently, like with gigs, you have the opportunity to work even more than what you than what you typically would at like some regular job, where they give you a set amount of hours, you clock out at this certain time, clock in at this certain time, you know what I mean? You kind of decide. And obviously it depends on like when shoppers and people paying you to do these tasks are like most active. But you know, there are around like almost any time, you know, like any reasonable time, there's gonna be people to like get orders from, you know what I'm saying? Or that's my opinion on it.
So I've been Grubhubbing lately since I lost my job back in November, and the exploitative nature of gig work is kind of crazy. And it's like I've always known that it's been there, but I experienced something today, and I was like, man, this is kind of, it's a wicked game that we're all playing. This is what I'm saying. Like, there is no other way. Revolution is the only way, because the games, all economy work games, and I call them games. They're not jobs. We don't go to jobs. We go to games. These are games we play for the rich. So this gig game that we play is so exploitative, right? So if you're on Grubhub, you know that, and you drive, you know, you have like partner, pro, premier, like your 3 different levels. And premier is like crazy because you got to like keep it at like above 95% acceptance rates, which, by the way, fuck all you gig people between 2015 and today, because I used to drive for DoorDash way back in the day, and back then those apps used to have like $10 and $5 minimums, and then now they have these little program systems, right? So it's like, if you accept 95%, you know, there's a couple other things you got to keep, make sure you're on time to places. Think your on time rate's got to be high, and your scheduling rate's got to be super high too, right? If you're basically an employee for Grubhub, they give you the privilege of setting your own availability. And like Grubhub will then like make a schedule for you based around your availability, like literally. If you make yourself a slave of Grubhub, they give you the privilege of being their employee, right? But the way that the way that it works on the opposite end is fucked, right? Because it's gig work, right? I'm not your employee. I show up when I can. I work when I can. Like, that's the idea. It's a gig, okay? But if you want to do it that way, right? And so you don't accept a lot of these offers. A lot of these offers are shit, right? They'll want you to drive 10, 12 miles for like $3, right? Like I said, back in the day, there was a $5 minimum. So like you weren't going, and if you had to go 0.1 miles, you were getting paid at least $5, right? That was way back when a lot of these gig apps first came out. And if you want to treat it like a gig, you get penalized, because this week I dropped so the 3 levels are Premier, Pro, and Partner. And so I was at the Pro level. But, sometime like last week and a half ago, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't care about trying to get Premier, like whatever. Because a lot of these drives are shit, and you'll end up going over. Like you'll get a bunch, but they're like so much and for so little that you're like barely cracking sometimes $20 an hour, maybe, right? And so I dropped this week from the Pro to the Partner level, and I've just been sitting like around like, man, I feel like I'm not getting any orders. And so I looked into it, and it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Most of the orders go to Premier and Pro. So the people who want to work like a slave, right? And it's funny because they had this at my last job. I was a taxi driver. It's like they want you to do more for the privilege of being an employee. And I want you to know, like, this is how they think about it. I don't care what Mark said about it. I don't care what you think about it. This is how the people who control the game, like, these aren't jobs. We go to games every day. What game are you playing today? I play the Grubhub game. Are you playing the whatever game, office game? You're playing the construction game. It's all games. It's all games, because everything is about exploitation. And that is the way that this country was founded. And we keep pretending every day that we play these games, every day that we pretend that it's not that, is every day that the games become more powerful. So we talk about this more in the Underground Railroad. Click the link in the bio to donate what you want. You can join for as little as $1 a month or $66 lifetime. But something to think about.
Bro, like, look at this dude, right? He's talking about how you gotta stay like in between this kind of level thing. I'm not that experienced into gigs or like knowledgeable in the fact, but he's saying you gotta stay in this tier, and this tier is probably good. You know what I mean? You probably get better orders and stuff like that at this certain tier. But to maintain that tier, you need to have a 95% acceptance rate. I think he said, right? 95% acceptance rate. That's crazy. Like that's like not even like reasonable, you know what I mean? And the reason why they want you to keep that high rate, right? You're so scared of like dropping your rate below that, so you'll take the bad orders. Remember, all these gig apps, their algorithms are designed to charge the person paying the most that they're willing to pay, and pay the drivers and people doing the task the least they can. I mean, that's how the algorithm's designed. So when knowing that, forcing your people who are shopping for you and stuff like that to maintain a certain acceptance rate, that's just like predatory. Like that's just messed up, because now it's either you don't take the delivery, you save your time, you know what I mean? I'll wait for the next delivery, but your rank might drop, and then you're screwed for like the rest of the week, you know what I'm saying? Because your rank dropped. I think that's how it is. I don't know. But so on the other hand, so on one hand you do that, on the other hand, you just take the bad order where, you make like no money for the amount of work you're putting in, and that just It's just so unfair, bro. I don't like it at all, but this is just how gig works have become. You know what I mean? Like it just, I guess they're not working with you anymore. It's just they're just trying to exploit you to pay you the least for the most amount of labor that they can get out of you. You know what I'm saying?